our panelists. My first panelist tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a lawyer of long-spanning experience who has worked with the governments of Uganda, Zambia, and also the United Nations. Taught law in various institutions, worked with the judiciary, and finally appointed the judge of the High Court of Uganda. Administrative experience acquired through setting up of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, representing the Commission at both local and international fora, including the annual representation at the United Nations Human Rights Session in Geneva. Ladies and gentlemen, our first panelist was appointed UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights defenders in 2008. She is also founder member of the Human Rights Center Uganda, which deals with issues of human rights and human rights defenders. Put our hands together for Mrs. Margaret Ssekagya.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Makerere University for organizing this. So, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and Vice Chancellor, Mr. Chirumira, the panelists, students, ladies and gentlemen, and the editor. And I want to congratulate the author for this book. In this book, author Sseruwagi presents an open letter to the President in which he calls for preparation to be made towards a planned, orderly, and peaceful transition of power. Without placing such an event in the foreseeable future, the author recognizes the eventual retirement of the President from government as inevitable, and emphasizes the need for a peaceful and smooth changing of guards so as not to undermine existing political progress and economic gains. The first thing I would like to say is that the President should reply to this open letter. The Uganda have a saying when they say, someone has to correct me, Godfrey Sseruwagi has narrated a lot of things, including progress, challenges, and a way forward. And I think it's important for the President to listen. The problem we usually have with people in authority is that they sometimes don't listen. And they take things as usual, business as usual. I think this book brings up issues emphasizing that it's not business as usual, but we should endeavor to implement and listen. About a month ago, I was addressing some Rotarians about how to make a will. And I could see how the Rotarians were very terrified. These are very, if you know Rotarians, they are very middle-class people. And they were looking at me, looking very terrified. To me, this actually looks like telling the President to write a will. But then, the will always emphasizes what you are going to do for the future, what you want for the future. In a way, it will not be a will, because the President does not have the authority and the powers to really determine the future. It is the people of Uganda who will determine the future of this country. When the government came to power, there were lots of developments which took place. We had the Odell Commission, which investigated human rights violations, and these, of course, included or revealed widespread arbitrary detention, killings, enforced disappearances, and forced disappearances. Then we brought up the Odoki Commission, which wrote a constitution which stipulated a lot of things, including the Bill of Rights. This is talking about the Bill of Rights. It also stipulated important issues such as term limits. It stipulated structures which should be in place to ensure democracy. And it also elaborated or set up firm structures to guarantee or prevent some of the concerns that the author raises in this book. The first thing the author raises in the book as one of the concerns is electoral violence. And he says that the transition of power cannot be able to take place peacefully if we have violent elections. Therefore, I think that's one of the things we should address. How do we deal with issues of elections? How can we ensure elections which are free and fair without any violence? And back to you, to the Ugandans, this is still something we would agitate for. I would like to make the following recommendations towards a peaceful transition, which I hope we should take into account. For the author, some people have called it lamenting, but for me, I think for him, we should say he expressed hope. Hope that the authorities will listen, hope that the president will be able to react. One of the first things which should be taken into account is to ensure respect for constitutionalism and the rule of law. We already went through the constitution-making process, putting different aspects of the constitution, putting structures in place. I therefore feel that the most important thing on a peaceful transition of power is respect for constitutionalism and the rule of law. The other aspect is a clear separation of powers. We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. And of course, as we look at the way things are going on now, this clear separation of power has a lot of challenges. So we need to ensure that we respect the issue of separation of power. And then we should maintain functional and autonomous institutions like the Uganda Human Rights Commission, the Electoral Commission. The people of Uganda have been calling on this. Can we have an independent Electoral Commission? Can we have an independent Uganda Human Rights Commission? Can we have an independent judiciary? Without those, whether you have peaceful elections, if you don't put your house in order, it might be difficult to maintain that democracy. We need also to carry out meaningful civic education that increases the citizens' understanding of human rights, democracy, and politics. And we should continue to sensitize government officials and all those in leadership of their duties and responsibilities towards building a democratic nation. All stakeholders, including civil society, the regional and international partners, should be allowed to participate in the democratic process. And one of the issues I want to bring up is the government should ensure that positive criticism of government shortfalls should not be seen as antagonistic, but as a necessary step towards improvement. We still have that big problem. Anytime anyone is standing up to speak, the first thing is to say, where does that person belong? We have politicized issues which should not be politicized. Anyone who brings out an issue like this one, and I'm appealing that this effort should not be politicized, that we should take it as an improvement, as a book which is good to ponder about, and as a book which is intended to bring about change. I think this transition of power is a concerted effort that requires one's patriotism, love for his country or her country, beyond one's desires and needs. Heightened in the book, the writer refers to friends who were in the know about the corruption in the recent past, and they remarked, are these foreigners that they can steal from their own country with such impunity? I think it's very important that we have what has been commonly said, patriotism, the love for our country, and emphasizing all in all is that, one, the President replies to the letter, because I saw that Godfrey had a son who wrote to President Obama, and Obama replied in the book. So I hope the President has the machinery of people who can be able to respond, and respond quickly to issues of national importance. And now that this debate has started, I think it's important that the President replies to your letter and allies your fear. And I feel that it should not be stand. It's not a matter of life and death, but it's a matter of the improvement of the democracy in our country, so that the President and the whole nation can debate this issue and debate it without stigmatization, without pointing fingers, without politicization. And I appeal to all of you to ensure that we do not politicize